We go to parks. We go for the roller coasters. We go for the atmosphere and the way it makes us feel, even in the rain. We go for the quirky thing that sets this place apart from all the other parks. We go to parks. And today, we go to Indiana Beach on beautiful Lake Schaefer in Monticello, Indiana, even if it's raining. You know the deal. Likes and subscribes are appreciated. Geeky stuff in the green. Indiana Beach is a lakeside amusement park. Houses dot the lakefront. Boats zip up and down the water. Although clearly that wasn't happening in the rain. It sort of sticks out on a peninsula and is surrounded on 3 sides by water. Thanks, Google Maps. There are 7 coasters, including Cornball Express, Hoosier Hurricane, Steel Hog, and that one that hasn't opened yet. It's raining. I asked the lady at the ticket window if the rides would still run in the rain. It's not my first trip in the rain, you know. There was the Kings Island monsoon of 2013. She said, yep. However, that wasn't totally the case. According to another employee, Cyclone and Tiger close in the rain. Lost Coaster may have just been closed, and the new one, or historical and new to Indiana Beach one, hasn't had its grand opening yet. Listen, if you're looking for a beautiful flower-lined paths through the woods from one part of the park to another, you might be disappointed. Indiana Beach is unlike most of the sprawling parks in the Midwest. Since it's a seaside park, and yeah, I'm using my quote fingers, it probably has more similarities to the coastal parks in, say, New Jersey or Santa Cruz and Belmont on the Pacific Coast in California. It's not magical and full of whimsy. It could actually use a coat of paint in some places. But if you remove those expectations and comparisons to other parks you may have been to, you might actually marvel at the engineering when you realize how they stacked the attractions on top of one another in such a tight space. These 2 spinners are built out over Lake Schaefer. You've got the antique cars built on platforms under Lost Coaster. You've got Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain. People say stuff like, it's unlike any other, all the time, but most times, there's another one somewhere. I don't know that that's the case here. Lost Coaster is definitely a unique experience. They have a chairlift that runs parallel to the boardwalk. These are harder and harder to find anymore. Note to self, some attractions are okay in the rain. A slow 6-minute trip on the chairlift is not one of them. Totally wrong time to ride that one. The kids area has lots of smaller attractions and they're all sort of tucked away under Cornball and Hoosier Hurricane. Cornball Express honestly doesn't look like much, but it packs a punch, particularly from the back seat. Hoosier Hurricane is a classic out-and-back wooden coaster. And has a sudden stop. Steel Hog is really unique. Small trains, compact coaster, and one of the steepest drops anywhere. Cyclone and Tiger are kinda old, but offer tons of nostalgia. But both were closed. Wah, wah, wah. Those aren't even sound effects, that's just me making noise. Walk! They do have a cute little log ride. There's a small water park included. Frankenstein's Castle is a walk-through haunted house kind of attraction. I've done it before, and it was definitely fun, but it's honestly one of those things that kind of bugs me. You spend $30 or $40 to get into these places, and then another $350 to walk through a haunted house? So, like, the $5 million roller coaster's included, but walking through Frankenstein's Castle isn't. Yeah, got it. The north end of the boardwalk has a row of shops and food stands. There's an arcade. And up top is the Sky Room dining and ballroom, and a 21 and over area that had live music the night we were there. I could see how you could bring extended family, rent a house, and the adults could end up there in the evening. And if you're staying on the lake, you can even drive your boat and drop off your family. In fact, The park is surrounded by lake houses and some smaller cottages and rooms, several of which are like right over the fence. You know, sometimes places say, you can walk to the park, but they mean like 1.4 miles under the interstate. There's no sidewalk. But here, it's like you really walk 87 feet and you're in. I measured. Indiana Beach has been around for nearly 100 years. Back in the 1930s and 40s, when people didn't travel as much, it was a big deal for Chicagoans to come down to Indiana Beach. See, I told you that was a saying. I mean, is there anything more picturesque than a waterside park all lit up at night? Falling star during the day and falling star at night. If you leave any sort of theme park expectation of whimsy and flower-lined paths at home, and just come with this idea that you and the family are going to have a great time, because let's face it, your kids don't care, you're going to love Indiana Beach. You're going to love it.